Hello, this is the presentation for the Deliverable 7 of my Managing Diversity in the Workplace class, and my instructor is Tiffany Lloyd. Today I will be presenting my presentation towards the Diversity Committee. My company has been nominated for a National Diversity Award associated with my efforts and dedication to the diversity initiatives in my workplace, and I'm going to talk about the impact it has on my organization and my local community. My hope is that after listening to my presentation, you will select me as the winner of this award. So, first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of workplace diversity. Workplace diversity contributes to the organization in many ways. First, it contributes to gaining a competitive advantage. So it brings a competitive advantage in our workplace. It also brings innovative ideas and skills from diverse group of individuals. So, when there's multiple people with different backgrounds, they can have different types of ideas, and when you mix those together, it can be very powerful. Having a diverse workplace can also help bridge any gaps, and it can eliminate or minimize conflict, and it can also help better identify our internal and external stakeholders. Customers are also more likely to do business with companies who are diverse and can understand their needs and their culture. Furthermore, it can also help reduce turnover, which ultimately contributes to a great return on investment for our organization. My diversity plan for the organization had these following main points. First, setting diversity goals for our organization is the first step towards developing a strategic plan. If you don't have a strategic plan in place, this is not going to work. So it's very important to create a plan. Then, for our specific plan, we decided to recruit and hire workers from a diverse talent pool. That way, like I said, when we have a variety of different employees that come from different backgrounds, it can be very powerful because everybody has different ideas, and when you put them together, it can help the organization tremendously. Next, you also want to be able to assess the customer's demographic information and be able to train our staff to develop communication skills related to our customer needs. And lastly, contribute volunteer hours and funds to local nonprofit organizations that serve the diverse population of individuals in our local communities. And so, being involved in our communities is also a huge effort of ours that we want to focus on, because, again, it's not just about our organization, but also, the communities around us and how we can better help them. This is what will continue to make our world go around, is, being involved and being as diverse as we are. It's very powerful. Culture and inclusion. So, know the diversity goals and vision of the organization and the connection to the overall business objective. So, it's super important to know how the culture and inclusion affects our organization, and so definitely knowing how it connects with our goals is huge. And we also want to make sure that we're participating in employee engagement surveys and being able to respond as openly and honest as possible. Having communication in place is super crucial. This is how we will be able to know how our employees are feeling and how we can fix what the gaps that we need to fix. We also need to actively engage in this diversity effort So it takes everybody to be able to set this diversity plan in place. So if one person is not being involved, it might really hurt us in the end. So communicating and educating is also, like I said, super important. So if there's no communication in place, this diversity effort will not work. So diverse groups working together, how this happens is through passion, modeling the way, sharing the vision. So when employees see this, and see a leader leading the way, they're more likely going to be able to follow, and that's how you can create a solid group of employees who are working together towards the same goal. Communication is the key. With no communication, again, this is not going to work. Commitment. It takes the commitment from all of us in the organization to be able to manage diversity properly in the organization. And lastly, team building. So, we need to be able to involve each other and help each other as much as we can to continue building upon our team. Next, I'm going to talk about the strategies about implementing Hofstede's cultural dimensions. So, one, work in and within confines of our current culture environments. We need to change the behavior, and the mind will follow. We need to focus on critical behaviors. We also need to use informal leaders. We must also not allow formal leaders any slack. Don't allow formal leaders any slack link behaviors to objectives. We must demonstrate quick responses. We must use cross-organizational methods for communication, align efforts to behaviors. We must continue management of cultural situations. Next, I'm going to talk about best practices for managers. Set goals. We need to make policies and expectations clear. And we need to implement a diversity training that will be able to train all the employees around diversity. Because if employees are not properly trained, then this is where lack of engagement can happen, and multiple things like discrimination and lack of communication will start to happen. So having a diversity training program in place is super essential. Some other best practices, we need to find the adaptive leadership styles that will provide the best experience for individuals. We need to have conflict management practices. Diversity committee. We need to have a diversity committee in place. And we need to follow and create a diversity plan. So in conclusion, I believe I should win this award because my efforts have been solely focused on fostering a diverse workplace in my organization where we can all work together and bring our innovative ideas to the table without fear. Dreams without goals are only dreams. Therefore, if we continue to work on accomplishing the goals of our organization, we may achieve great success as a result. Thank you so much for listening. That concludes my presentation.